You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
I nearly did a rookie mistake there. I nearly left myself on mute there for a moment. So welcome to the show, Mick McQuillan. Joey, my good friend, is going to be joining me in a minute. But welcome to episode 65. And of course, this is Freedom, Health and Lifestyle. We're going to go through the 7 habits of highly effective people. I've got a summary lined up, ready to listen to. But I suppose just to, go through a little bit about what it is. So the 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. What is it? Stephen Covey, yeah. And the first one, be proactive, take responsibility for your life, focus on what you can control rather than reacting to external circumstances. The habit emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and initiative. The second habit, begin with the end in mind. Have a clear vision of your goal and desired outcomes. This habit encourages you to define your purpose and long-term objectives, ensuring that your daily actions align with your ultimate goals. And habit number 3, put first things first. Prioritize your tasks and activities based on importance rather than urgency. This habit focuses on time management and encourages you to invest time in what truly matters, such as your personal and professional goals. And of course, number 4, think win-win. I love this one, right? Strive for mutual beneficial solutions in your interactions and relationship. This habit promotes an abundance mindset where collaboration and cooperation leads to positive outcomes for all parties. And of course, number 5, seek first to understand, then be understood. Practice empathic listening before offering your own perspective. Make an effort to understand others' viewpoints. This habit emphasizes the importance of communication and building strong relationships. And then, of course, number 6, synergize. Leverage the strengths and talents of others to achieve greater outcomes. This habit focuses on teamwork and collaboration, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And number 7, sharpen the saw. Continuously renew and improve yourself in 4 areas: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. This habit encourages ongoing self-care and personal development to maintain balance and effectiveness. So these habits are interconnected, with each building upon the previous one, forming a holistic approach to personal and professional effectiveness. Okay, well, listen, look, I think we should bring Joey in. Hey, Joe, let me see if I can figure this out. How you doing?
Very good, Mike. Mike, thank you so much for holding the fork. And, I have to take my collagen to calm the chaos. So just hop out from the bus and just came home, have a quick dinner. And just when I was about to breathe, and I said to myself, ooh, and I received your text and you talk about the habit. It's so true. It's the habit that you, is the choice. It's the choice that you make. And when you make that and take action on those habits, it will become part of you, whether it's a negative or a positive one. But it will definitely, if it's it's always good to stay on the positive side, learn from the negative side of the habit, old habit that you develop that doesn't add value to you. And tonight is, I'm looking forward to, but I have to take the moment to acknowledge you stand up and just carry on the episode while I was away. And I'm grateful, very grateful. Sorry about the little incident last week. I didn't make it, but I'm glad everything is okay. So I'm back to our normal routine now, to create the best habit for us and the people that we were able to help around the world.
Yeah, good to see you, Joe. Good to see you. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Click the notification button. That way, you'll see when Joey and I are on, usually around the same time every week. And of course, this is personal development with a lifestyle plan. And of course, I like to focus on the 16-week challenge. Tactics and solutions. Rule number 1: eat what you want whenever you like. In the understand, it's going to move you closer or further from your goal. And that's why this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, can be leveraged into that 16-week challenge very, very easily. It's about creating new habits. And of course, look, if you want to change something in your life, you've got to change something in your life. So why not start with changing your mind? And of course, this is 16 weeks to looking and feeling the best you've felt in a decade. And don't forget, you can go to the Real Mick McQuillan Facebook page and download your goal sheet. Fill that out, send it into Joey, send it into me. And of course, we'll start a conversation and see how we can get you started. But it's really about looking, feeling, moving, doing, thinking better. And we all want better, So, and this book is going to give us this. And of course, this book came up, number 4 in that list. Think win-win. I remember reading this book about 20 odd years ago. And that think win-win really stuck with me. And to be honest, for a long time, I couldn't remember what book it was in. And then I was on a call one Tuesday morning, and this book was being reviewed, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's where it was. So look, what we'll do is we'll just pull it up and we'll have a listen. This is only a summary of the book. I would recommend you go and get it for yourself. If you don't already have it, maybe you've got it, maybe it's sitting on a shelf. But again, what we really want is a no limits transform your life. So it's pretty straightforward. But again, it starts with a strong reason why. And we'll get into the reason why, and we'll get into more stuff in a little while. But look, Joe, anything you want to add before we kick this off?
No, I can't wait to learn as much as I can from this great book.
All right, let's get going.
Before we dive into the habits themselves, let's start with the foundation, an inside-out approach to life. Covey reminds us that real change starts from within. It's not about fixing the external world, but about aligning our character and principles with the values that guide us. This is where the magic happens. When we change from the inside, our external world transforms. Habit 1. Be proactive. Take control of your life. Don't just react. Act. Stephen Covey emphasizes that being proactive is the foundation of all personal effectiveness. It's about understanding that you are responsible for your own life. You have the power to choose your responses, no matter what external circumstances you face. This habit teaches that your life doesn't have to be shaped by what happens to you. Rather, it's defined by how you choose to respond to what happens. Imagine this. Life throws all kinds of challenges at you, difficult people, unexpected setbacks, and even failures. The reactive person might feel trapped, controlled by the circumstances or the actions of others. They might blame external factors, thinking, there's nothing I can do about it. But being proactive flips the script. It's about recognizing that while you may not be able to control everything around you, you can always control how you respond. You can choose your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Covey introduces the concept of the circle of concern and the circle of influence to help you grasp this idea. The circle of concern includes everything that you worry about: your job, relationships, health, and even world events. Some of these things are within your control, and some are not. The circle of influence, on the other hand, includes the things you can directly affect: your actions, your words, and your behavior. The more you focus on your circle of influence, the more you expand it. When you spend your energy on things you can control, rather than stressing over things you can't, you start to feel more empowered. This shift in focus allows you to make positive changes in your life, bit by bit. Being proactive also means recognizing your own responsibility. The word responsibility itself is key here. Covey breaks it down as your ability to respond. You have the ability to respond to any situation in a way that aligns with your values and your goals. Instead of just reacting to life's demands, you consciously decide how you will act, based on what's most important to you. For example, let's say someone criticizes you at work. A reactive person might immediately feel hurt, defensive, or even lash out. A proactive person, however, would take a step back and ask themselves, how can I respond in a way that's aligned with my values? What can I learn from this? They focus on what they can control: their reaction, their attitude, and their approach to the situation. Covey also talks about the language you use both in your mind and in your conversations with others. Reactive language sounds like, I have to do this, or there's nothing I can do. Proactive language, on the other hand, is empowering. I choose to do this, or I can find a solution. By shifting your language, you shift your mindset from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. Another powerful aspect of being proactive is understanding that your life is a product of your decisions, not your conditions. This is where personal leadership begins. You take ownership of your life. It's about stepping into a place of empowerment where you no longer feel controlled by the outside world, but instead feel driven by your internal values and principles. Remember, being proactive is a daily practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but as you continue to focus on what you can control, you'll start to notice a shift. You'll feel more empowered, more in control, and more aligned with the life you want to create. So, as you start applying this first habit, ask yourself, where in your life can you shift from reacting to proactively responding? What can you focus on today that will make a positive difference? It's a powerful place to start, and it sets the tone for the rest of your journey through the 7 habits. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Picture your life as a masterpiece, and you're the artist. Habit 2 is all about vision and purpose. Covey asks you to imagine yourself at the end of your life. What do you want people to say about you? What do you want to have accomplished? This might seem like a heavy exercise, but it's powerful because it forces you to think about what truly matters. Instead of getting caught up in the day-to-day grind, you're encouraged to focus on the big picture, to begin with the end in mind. The idea here is that everything you do should align with a clear vision of the life you want to create. It's about being intentional, crafting a life that reflects your deepest values and goals, rather than just letting life happen to you. When you have a clear sense of your purpose, your actions become more focused, and you start making decisions that guide you toward that purpose. Covey emphasizes the importance of creating a personal mission statement. This is a statement that articulates your values, your vision, and your principles. It serves as your personal compass, something you can refer to whenever you're making decisions or facing challenges. Think of it as the North Star that guides you in the direction you want your life to go. By having this personal mission, you are constantly reminded of what is most important to you, and it helps you stay on track. Take a moment to reflect. What are your core values? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Covey encourages you to take the time to write these down in a personal mission statement. This isn't something you do hastily. It's a process of self-discovery, where you really dive deep into your heart and ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? What impact do I want to have? Once you've established your mission, the next step is to start aligning your daily actions with it. Covey uses the metaphor of a ladder to explain this. Imagine your life as a ladder that you're climbing. It's easy to get caught up in climbing faster and faster, working harder, achieving more. But if your ladder is leaning against the wrong wall, you could end up somewhere you never intended to be. This habit helps you make sure your ladder is leaning against the right wall, so all your efforts are moving you toward your ultimate vision. It's also about living by design rather than by default. When you begin with the end in mind, you stop living reactively. Instead of just responding to whatever life throws at you, you proactively design your life. You're no longer just going with the flow, but instead steering your ship toward the destination you've chosen. Another key aspect of Habit 2 is understanding the difference between leadership and management. Covey explains that leadership is about doing the right things, while management is about doing things right. Beginning with the end in mind is an act of leadership. It's about setting the right direction for your life, making sure that what you're pursuing aligns with your values and purpose. Once you have that direction, management comes into play, making sure that the actions you take are effective and efficient. In this habit, Covey also stresses the importance of visualization. He suggests that you visualize the outcomes you want in every area of your life, whether it's your career, relationships, health, or personal development. Visualization isn't just daydreaming. It's about mentally creating the results you desire and then taking the actions to manifest them in reality. When you visualize success, you're programming your mind to achieve that success. As you begin to apply Habit 2, ask yourself, what is the vision for your life? Have you taken the time to define it clearly? What does success look like for you, not just in terms of career or money, but in terms of who you are as a person? By answering these questions, you'll start to uncover the deeper purpose that will guide your actions moving forward. Remember, beginning with the end in mind is not just about long-term life goals. It's a habit you can apply in everyday situations. Whether you're planning your week, a meeting, or even a conversation, start with a clear vision of what you want to achieve. When you know what you want the outcome to be, your actions become more purposeful and aligned. As you practice this habit, you'll find yourself living with greater clarity and intention, making choices that reflect your deepest desires and leading a life that truly feels like your own. Habit 3, put first things first. Prioritize what matters most in your life and stay focused on what truly moves you forward. Habit 3 is where your vision and values, the ones you clarified in Habit 2, come to life through your daily actions. It's about execution, discipline, and making sure that what you do each day aligns with your highest priorities. If Habit 2 is about leadership and setting the right direction, Habit 3 is about management and walking that path with focus and intention. Think of your life as a busy highway filled with distractions, competing demands, and endless tasks. Without prioritization, you can easily end up overwhelmed, working hard, but not making any real progress toward the life you've envisioned. Habit 3 is your roadmap to cutting through the noise and keeping your eyes on what truly matters. Covey emphasizes the importance of time management, but in a way that goes far beyond traditional techniques like to-do lists and schedules. He introduces what's known as the time management matrix, which helps you organize your activities based on two key dimensions: urgency and importance. In the matrix, you'll find 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, urgent and important. These are the crises and pressing problems that demand immediate attention, things like emergencies, deadlines, or last-minute preparations. While Quadrant 1 tasks are inevitable, spending too much time here can lead to stress and burnout. Quadrant 2, not urgent, but important. This is the most powerful quadrant, the one where true effectiveness lies. It's where you focus on proactive activities like planning, relationship building, personal development, and strategic thinking. These are the actions that align with your long-term goals, but because they're not urgent, they can easily be neglected if you're not intentional. Covey stresses that spending time in Quadrant 2 is the key to leading a balanced, fulfilling life. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important. These are the distractions that may feel urgent, but don't actually contribute to your long-term success. Think of interruptions, unnecessary meetings, or minor issues that pull you away from what's truly important. Many people get stuck here, feeling busy, but not productive. Quadrant 4, Not urgent and not important. This quadrant includes the activities that waste your time, like mindless scrolling on social media, excessive TV watching, or any other unproductive habits. Spending too much time here leads to stagnation and lack of progress. Covey suggests spending the majority of time in quadrant 2, focusing on the things that are important but not urgent. These are the activities that move you closer to your vision and allow you to grow as a person. It's about being proactive rather than reactive and making intentional decisions about how you invest your time. Putting first things first requires discipline. It's about saying no to the distractions and demands that don't align with your goals, and sometimes that can be difficult. Covey talks about the concept of courageous leadership, the courage to prioritize your life according to what matters most to you, even when it's not the easiest path. Ask yourself, what are the things in your life that truly matter? It might be nurturing your relationships, taking care of your health, working toward a meaningful goal, or spending time on personal growth. These are your first things. Now, look at how you spend your time. Are these priorities reflected in your daily actions? Covey introduces the idea of big rocks as a way to visualize this. Imagine you have a jar and you need to fill it with rocks, gravel, and sand. If you put the sand and gravel in first, the small, less important tasks, there won't be room for the big rocks, the things that matter most. But if you put the big rocks in first, the sand and gravel will naturally fill in the spaces around them. This metaphor encourages you to schedule your most important tasks first and let the smaller, less significant ones fit in around them. Habit 3 also requires that you develop a strong sense of purpose and clarity. When you know what your big rocks are, your quadrant 2 activities, you can confidently plan your days, weeks, and months around them. This is about living a life of focus and integrity, where your actions are a direct reflection of your priorities. Covey reminds you that this isn't just about time management, it's about self-management. It's about consciously choosing how you allocate your energy, focus, and attention. When you put first things first, you're not just getting more done, you're getting the right things done. Finally, Habit 3 challenges you to think about balance. Life is full of different roles, whether it's as a professional, a partner, a parent, or a friend, and each role has its own demands. Part of putting first things first is finding harmony among these roles, making sure that none of them is neglected while you pursue your larger goals. Covey encourages you to define your roles clearly and allocate time for each one, so you can give them the attention they deserve without feeling pulled in too many directions. As you begin to implement Habit 3, remember that it's a daily practice. Prioritizing what matters most is an ongoing process. But each time you choose to focus on the important over the urgent, you're taking a step toward living a life that's aligned with your values and your vision.
Hey Joe, listen, I want to get your comments, on that, on those first three. The first one being be proactive, the second, begin with the end in mind, and the third, put first things first. And I want to just share this tab as well. I don't know if you should be able to see that. Can you see that? Let me see. Oh, add to stage there. See if I can make that a bit bigger. This is the quadrant in the last one, the important, so things that are important, not important, urgent, and not urgent. And it's funny because obviously I was saying that I'd read this book about 20 years ago, and obviously the next one that's coming up, the win-win, stuck out for me, but this also stuck out for me as well. And I would often, if I was sending a text message to someone, I would often begin it with, not important but urgent, or not urgent but important. Do you know what I mean? I would set the scene for that person. Obviously, if I'm just checking in with someone, it's not that urgent and it's not important. Do you know what I mean? I'm just checking in. You don't need to, be distracted by my message. So, but I think that's interesting. But what's your thoughts, Joe? First of all, I think I've got you muted, have I? Unmute. I've unmuted you.
Man, I'm very glad that you put up this book so we can review them, study them. I wish I almost tell you to stop and rewind, because I just write slow when there's a lot of good gold nugget from that chapter that we went through, and even just the bit point of the habit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. You know, I'm so happy that to be part of the tonight call and just to review this, because it's for me it's very important that talk about prioritize your writing your mission statement. The other thing that we maybe we heard it before from some of the call that we make from our team, our mentors, and study this book again is kind of like remind us it's important. They are the small things that move us toward where we are going, and to see the technicality. It's funny because some of our job in our army is very technical, and to look at the technical side of a whole broad of, like he's talking about the 4 quadrant of time management and using the time management metrics, but before that, all those values that we hear from the previous chapter. But I'm so amazed, and I'm glad that you have a copy of it, because I start to draw down a 4 square, and start to summarize what he was talking about. But I'm glad that you have a picture of it so I can have a look, and I will definitely have to get that book. Mike, there's a lot of things. I think for me personally, from how many minutes so far, it's kind of like wake me up, because sometimes you just do a lot of things and not prioritize. And he's so right. You start to get overwhelmed, and when you're overwhelmed, you don't want to do anything.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally true. You put things off, don't you? You procrastinate. You put things off. You do it tomorrow. And,
Correct.
So yeah, no. Look, I think the personal mission statement in Begin with the End in Mind, and he was talking about taking the time to visualize the outcome, thinking about it, and again, like that could go down in your quadrant, couldn't it? That it's important to do. It's not urgent, but it is important. So like that number 2 section could get filled pretty quickly, and you'd become super efficient, wouldn't you? Like if you were focused on important things that weren't urgent, you'd become really efficient in dealing with the important things. But again, number 1, be proactive, right? That's probably one of the. I wonder if these laid out in importance of, or in their importance, like is number 1, be proactive, the most important one? I don't know if they have a level of importance, but obviously if you're not going to be proactive, all of this stuff doesn't get done, does it? You don't put it into place. So being proactive is very important. Like it's very simple, begin with the end in mind. We talk about that a lot, visualizing it and then taking action, put first things first. This is about taking the action, doing those important things, doing those, things only become urgent when you put them off, like maybe you've got a bill to pay. You think, oh, I'll pay that at the end of the month, and then the end of the month comes and something else happens, and you've got to spend some money somewhere else whereas if you would have paid that bill when it came in, now you wouldn't have that problem to deal with, So, but then if you look, I don't know what the answers are, Joe, but there's no doubt it's all important. It's all important. But anyway, listen, before we get back to it, tell us about what you were doing in the army.
Oh, I went away for 5 weeks. It's called IET, which means
is it like a secret mission? Are you allowed to talk about
it? No, just to 5 weeks to familiarize with my role as a combat engineer, and I learned a lot. I didn't have time to read, and because I was and we were talking about a lot of things that related. You have uh, enough energy for a day to to prioritize your work. If you don't prioritize your work, you will caught up in a lot of overwhelm, and it's happened a lot, but I'm glad that I went through, we did a lot of training specific to the job that I'm doing with the army. And I'm grateful that I'm in a position that to understand my role. And instead of react, I can be proact, because I have the knowledge, I have the training, the experience that people from the trainer, they showed me, and also the group that we had together. Great experience. A lot of sleeping outside in the field, and a lot of digging trenches, which is hard work and drain a lot of energy. But it's funny because we talk about this great habit, and and I talk about the energy. If you don't prioritize your energy, or your tasks, your time management, you will get drained very quickly. And when you drain very quickly, you end up procrastinate. You end up, overwhelmed, confusing, and But when you on the roll, prioritize your. It's same with with things that the thing that we do in the army. It's you have a mission, and you have a plan, and you have to execute that plan, but you have to start from somewhere. you know um, there's a starting point, and there's an ending point to a mission. You want to accomplish the mission, and it's so true. The start with the end in mind. We talk about it a lot previously, and it's so true, because the aim that whatever we do in the start, we want to achieve, accomplish the goal at the end. And that's what anything that we do, and we kind of do plan, do review, because we want to make sure we meet the deadline. But not only meet the deadline, we meet the mission in the right way. We do it in the right way, safe way, and accomplish it in the best possibility that we want to achieve. With life, same thing. If we want to do something in life, we need to plan it, so that we don't have to, when we overwhelm, we react. Instead of react, we proactive. We think. Instead of just go out with our emotion and just react to it. We stop, we pause. And it's funny because when I was in primary school, there's a phrase that they used to teach us. When you cross the road, you stand, you look, you listen before you go across the road. And it's a very simple phrase, but I think it's the same. Tonight is a kind of like, you stand, you pause, you review, you listen, you see, you check, you listen, and then you plan to your activity. So very, very powerful books, this one. And I think it's very important, like you encourage at the beginning. If you don't have the book, I recommend you should have it. And that's part of my homework tonight, to make sure that I have the book straight away. So yeah, I can't wait to study more of this book and to read about it, because a lot of things start to click and start slowly to remind me, because it's so true. Even myself, I have to admit, when I'm overwhelmed, I start to put things on the side, and I said, okay, tomorrow I will do it. Maybe next week I will do it. But and that's one of the things that when I get home, something just came to me. I'm tired, but I said to myself, if I wish that Mike didn't have the live tonight, but your message, wake me up, and I said, if I delay it for another day, and next week I wish that the podcast will. So anyway, there's a.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, we'll be right back. Hey guys, how you doing? Mick McQuillan here. Great to be here with you today. And of course, look, sorry for the interruption. So we're here to talk about freedom, health, and lifestyle, specifically health, right? And the 16-week challenge, and how this can help you look and feel the best that you felt in a decade. Okay. Now I will get into the freedom part and the lifestyle part a little bit later on, but right now it's about the 16-week challenge. about looking, thinking, feeling the best you felt in a decade. And of course, the 16-week challenge comes with a whole bunch of tactics and solutions to be able to help you do this. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle plan. Why would we have rule number one if this was a diet? And what's rule number one? Eat what you want whenever you like, in the understanding that's going to move you closer or further from your goal. So to take part, what you need to do is go to the Facebook page. The link should be on the page right now, and you can download your Freedom, Health, and Lifestyle goal sheet, right? It's in the featured post section. So look, go and download the Freedom, Health, and Lifestyle goal sheet, and then you can message that to either Joey. His details should be on the screen right now, or you can email it directly or send it to me over Facebook on my Facebook page. Again, the link should be there for you right now. And of course, this can kickstart your 16-week challenge. All we'll do is have a conversation. We'll get back to you. We'll start a conversation and see how we can help you. But really, this 16-week challenge is a gateway to freedom, health, and lifestyle, right? Because on that 16-week challenge, we're going to teach you the other elements on how you can get freedom, whatever that means to you, whether it's time freedom, financial freedom, whatever it is, and the lifestyle elements, living a lifestyle with purpose. So go to the Real Mick McQuillan Facebook page, featured posts, download your goal sheet. Now, get back to the show. Go on, get back. Quick, get back. He's a funny guy, that guy.
Brilliant. Amazing.
All right. We'll jump straight back into this. Number 4 is coming up next. And yeah, and look, don't forget, let us know your comments in the chat. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click the notification button so that of course you'll be, you'll know when we're on, usually around the same time every week. But again, look, this is pretty straightforward, So let me see, what am I trying to do here? I need to get back to my page. Hold on. What am I doing? Right. Okay.
Next, habit 4. Think win-win. Seek mutual benefit in every interaction and relationship. Believe that there's enough for everyone. Habit 4 is a fundamental shift in mindset. It's about cultivating an abundance mentality, where success isn't a limited resource, and where you believe that in any situation, there is the possibility for both you and others to benefit. Covey describes win-win as a philosophy of human interaction that seeks to create outcomes that are beneficial for everyone involved, rather than just focusing on your own gain. This habit goes beyond simple compromise. It's about finding solutions that allow both parties to win, to walk away feeling satisfied and respected. Covey explains that win-win thinking comes from a place of integrity, maturity, and an abundance mindset. It's grounded in the belief that there is plenty of opportunity, success, and happiness to go around, and that someone else's success does not diminish your own. But thinking win-win is not always easy. Our culture often emphasizes competition and scarcity, the belief that for one person to win, someone else must lose. Habit 4 challenges this zero-sum mentality and invites you to embrace collaboration, synergy, and mutual benefit. Let's break this down further. Covey outlines 6 paradigms of human interaction. 1. Win-win. Both parties come out ahead. You're not just looking to satisfy your own needs, but to ensure that the other person's needs are met as well. This creates a foundation for trust and long-term relationships. 2. Win-lose. This is the mindset of competition, where you win at the expense of someone else. It's driven by power, authority, or manipulation. While this approach may bring short-term success, it often leads to resentment, damaged relationships, and an environment of mistrust. 3. Lose-win. In this paradigm, you allow the other person to win at your own expense. It's the attitude of giving in or backing down to avoid conflict. People with this mentality often suppress their own needs and desires, which can lead to frustration and a lack of fulfillment. 4. Lose-lose. When both parties are unwilling to find a solution and insist on a win-lose approach, the result is a lose-lose outcome. This is the mentality of, if I can't win, neither can you. It often results in mutual destruction and wasted opportunities. 5. Win. In this mindset, you focus solely on your own success, without regard for the other party's needs or outcomes. You're solely driven by personal gain, which can lead to short-term victories, but may damage long-term relationships. 6. Win-win or no deal. This is the highest form of win-win thinking. It means that if you can't find a solution that benefits both parties, you agree to walk away without an agreement. This ensures that both parties retain their integrity and prevents resentment from festering. Covey emphasizes that win-win is not about being nice or permissive. It's a principle-centered approach that requires you to be both courageous and considerate. It's about balancing your own needs with the needs of others and working to find solutions that respect both sides. This requires a high degree of emotional maturity because you need to understand not only your own perspective, but also be able to empathize with the perspective of others.
Joe, I just wanted to. Do you remember we were listening to The Science of Getting Rich? Do you remember that book? And it's very interesting because in that Science of Getting Rich, there was a section, might have been chapter 10 maybe or something like that, where it was talking about the competitive mindset versus the creator mindset. And, you know, that's very reminiscent of that chapter, of that habit, win-win. Because the win-lose or the lose-win or the lose-lose, you know, they're all coming from that competitive mindset area, where the win-win is really the creator mindset, where all, you know, a rising tide raises all ships, you know, where everybody rises together. And that is so important. And I suppose even in the business that we're in, you know, that's a philosophy that we really kind of try and focus on, where everybody wins together, you know. What are your thoughts on that win-win? Because that is, you know, like, you know, it's a struggle, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To, you know, like, because sometimes you do want to just kind of like go, no, I don't, no deal, right? So I don't want to do that. You do think, you know, you can think selfishly sometimes, where you're just thinking about what you want to get out of something, as opposed to, you know, what's in it for everybody.
Yeah, and you know, you're so right. I'm glad that you brought up that point, because in thinking the sign of getting rich. That book, you know, even L. Nightingale mentioned about a very similar thing. You know, if we can all have the mindset of being a creator instead of you know, being a competitor, you know, things will be changed differently. And you know, you're so right. I have to be honest. You know, the reason why I decided to build my business in our professional that we are, and the business that we doing with network marketing, because I was looking for another source of income, you know, to replace my other source of income, you know, part time and casual, cash on hand kind of source of income because of my health. And because I was looking and I was do a little bit of investigating, and you know, when I found out it's this is the best model that I can create wealth or financial stability for my family. And you know, I get in there because I need to support my family. But when I get in there and I study and I listen to mentors and leaders, I start to realize that I'm in a business that you only win in life when you help people to win in life. And you know, you get in there because of your personal choice, personal dreams to have another source of income to support your family. But when you get into and learn from the successful people, they were successful because they help enough people success. And when those people success, they enjoy the same thing. It's called it leverage in another ways, but it's the same concept. You know, when you help enough people to win in life, the law of abundance and winning and success in life, you know, it will come back to you. Come back from a background of faith. It whatever goes around will come around. And if you're willing and have the heart to help enough people winning life, it will definitely come back to you. So we open to a lot of possibility, and we realize that this is a platform or community or a business model that we are able to help one another to win in life. And we experienced, we saw a lot of people from our team, from our event, to see their people that they help or sponsor and develop them to become a leader. When those people success, I think that's more, that reward is outperformance the first goal that they want to have a financial freedom or financial stability. But to see a lot of people winning too, go out and become a leaders and become a great financial freedom for themselves, and they go out also and help other people to have the same goals. It's very rewarding in a lot of ways. So what this book is.
Joey, there's obviously there's a website. There's a link up there on the page, risethriveglobal.com. And again, if you're watching and you're thinking, I want to do something, I want to try, maybe I want to start my own business, maybe there's, you want to change your life in a certain way, you want to move in a different direction. Well, firstly, I recommend you go to the Facebook page, the Real Mick McQuillan, and download that goal sheet, fill that in, get started on the 16-week challenge, and then I recommend you go to this website, risethriveglobal.com. Joey was just talking about it. Joe, tell us a bit about this site.
This is our team. This is our global team, and the lady on the picture now is our leader, our founder, Linda Proctor. She's the wife of late Bob Proctor, our coach and mentor. And, we are so grateful that we are still exposed and still learn about his wisdom, his knowledge, even though he's no longer with us now, God bless him. But, his legacy live on because he helped a lot of people, including you, myself, Mike, to win big in life. And because we understand that we have to give back in a form, because that's what they want. Successful people, they understand they have to give back in some form and shape, to the world, because this world is full of abundance, and they went out there and do the work and do the proactive, the habit, create the habit that we're talking about in this book, and they become successful. And then when they realize those abundant, they can't take them to those abundance to the grave with them. They have to pay it forward. They have to, find someone, find a leader somewhere to pass it on. And even though they are no longer with us, his legacy, their name, we're still talking about it. And even we mentioned them how many times in our podcast, because we want to give back the credit to them because of what they planned a long time ago. And we still, want to pay it forward for the generation to come through our podcast and our little live every Sunday afternoon. And I have to salute you for that, for keeping the fork and, stay consistent with our program. And I'm very grateful, Mike.
Yeah, but to be honest, it was challenging, like it's because you're here by yourself, you're talking to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But no, I was getting support, because obviously I was getting comments on the Facebook page. And then Joe, like when you make a decision, when you make a committed decision to do something, you become successful by doing it because you made that decision to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to give up. It's easy to give up, So, and what kind of a fraud would I be if I didn't, So you have to do it. Do you know what? I remember years ago I was with a coach, and he said to me, he said, "Oh well, if it's not working, just quit. Just don't do it. That's the universe sending you a message to say that you should just not do it." And I'll be honest with you, Joe, I never spoke to that guy again, because I thought that is the worst piece of advice I've ever heard. That if you don't succeed, you should just quit. what a load of horse shit that is. You know, like you do it until you. If you're not succeeding, it's because you've not become efficient at it. You've not become expert at it. You've not become good enough at it. It means you've got to practice until you get better. You know, and only when you get better will you become more efficient at something and get better at something. You don't just quit because you tried it and it failed. You know, you get better. You get better at it. You know, so like that really stuck with me. That I couldn't believe someone like this is a coach, someone who's supposed to inspire and uplift somebody, or not maybe not uplift somebody, but like to give them good advice. Telling someone to quit something, I think, is absolutely ridiculous, especially if it's something that they want to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, damn, it's crazy. But anyway, listen, I think what we should do is probably finish it there and get back to the other 3 habits. We're about halfway through. Give us something to talk about next week. So we'll be talking about, let me have a look, what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about, hold on a second, at the stage. Also, we've gone through the first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next one is seek first to understand, then be understood, synergize and sharpen the saw. But look, I've enjoyed those first 3, if I'm honest, or those first 4. They're a lot of fun. And I think that we can get to the rest of it. But Joe, before I go, what's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, go back to the first thing that comes to my mind is about the proactive. Action will make a big difference. If you study, learning, and don't do anything about it. I landed in 5 weeks that I was away. We can sit in the classroom and learn a lot of history and the technical thing. But if we don't go out on the field, test it, try it, and get the feel of it, and have the feeling of, when you do something and you make a mistake, you learn from it, and that's how a lot of people they very good at what they're doing because they keep doing it, repetition, and they get to a point when things go wrong, they don't react. They stop, they think, and they what did we did last and it didn't work. So, and what did we do to make it work? So, very important, those habits, it's a choice. And you're one of the people that always reminded our habit is a choice. We woke up every day, we make a choice whether we brush our teeth or, or make our bed, or just go straight to work. Those little things in life make a huge difference. And I think you and I just hear your testimony of your endurance and your persistence because of the decision that we made. And I'm so grateful for a friend like you, Mike, to be on this journey together, that we are able to study together, learn together, and also recording this. And I have no doubt that one day people will look up, who is those 2 white hair men and those black hair men, and what they are talking about. But this book is very good. I couldn't believe what I listened to it tonight, and I think there's a lot of things to learn about it, and our habit is very, very important because it make us, it's the way we show up, the way we turn up, the way we speak to people, the way we share our wisdom. It's all because of the habit that we make a decision, and it's not only a decision but a committed decision to change. And when we change our habit, we start to see the benefits and the advantage of making that committed decision. Mike, I think that's all I want to say. There's a lot of things in the, I think, but the good thing we're recording this, and you can go back and replay it, because you love watching Mike and Joey on the stage on the podcast every Sunday. And I believe sometimes I think to myself, maybe people just want to hear the accent to do the Irish action, the Dublin action, or the Aussie action. So good day, man.
Brilliant, Joey, brilliant. And listen, just to echo what Joey was saying, look, if you want to change something in your life, you've got to change something in your life. Why don't you start with changing your mind? Listen, see you guys next week.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.